Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another Wake Up Wednesday. So before I even go into anything, I'm so sorry if you can hear that my voice sounds a bit weird. I've done a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting, a lot of laughing, a lot of just being really loud over the past couple of days. But anyway, I know I must address it before I go into anything else. I know we're here to talk about the Wake Up Wednesday, but I know because people will be like, you can't just think you're just gonna get away with this. You can't just think you're gonna move on. You can't. So I will address it, of course. Unless you've been living under a rock, you will know that myself, I put out this video out there that basically insinuated, I didn't actually say, but it insinuated that I got married. I didn't, obviously. And then the next day I basically put out another video saying that, yeah, sorry guys, I didn't get married. It was all just an April Fool's, and I call it an extended April Fool's because of course I didn't post it on the 1st, the 2nd, or even the 3rd or the 4th. I basically didn't post it anywhere near the actual day of April Fool's because it would have just been too obvious. Like, you all would have known and been like, yeah, whatever, it's the 1st of April, it's April Fool's, she's chatting rubbish, let it go, stop trying it. No, okay? So I was like, no, I'm not gonna post it on that day because it's gonna be too obvious. Let me leave it for a little bit and, you know, let people forget that it's April Fool's so that people actually believe it. But no, I just want to give a big massive shout out to everyone who's just taken it as a joke, which is exactly what it is, and who have just laughed about it and just kept it moving, because I know that some people haven't had that reaction. But one thing you need to understand, that both myself and Ben were very, very prepared for that reaction. We know how social media runs, we know how social media works, and no, this was not some kind of elaborate scheme to do something or whatever it is. It was literally something that we did not even plan. Like, it wasn't like we said, do you know what, let's plan this elaborate shoot and let's, you know, prank everyone. Literally not. It was not that. It was we were asked to come and do a styled shoot. Then we looked at everything, we were like, hang on a minute, this could actually be seen as something. So we kind of ran with it, you know. We just took an opportunity that we saw was there, but it wasn't some big elaborate scheme like I sat there and came up with this whole thing myself. No. But yeah, we also know that, you know, social media is just one of those spaces where you will experience, especially if you put your life out there or you decide that you are going to be out there and you know, be a content creator or be online or whatever it is, people do have an opinion about who you should be, what you should be, and whatever it is. So we did, you know, brace ourselves and say, do you know what, there might be also a wave of basically of a backlash of people, you know, being quite horrible, especially on Black Twitter. We know that Black Twitter can be so savage. So we braced ourselves, we prepared ourselves, but thankfully, I can't even lie to you, like, majority of people have actually been quite nice about it. People have just taken it as a joke and literally just laughed about it. Yes, there's been some people who have been like, no, I'm genuinely like upset. I haven't really seen anything crazy or too horrible or nasty or anything like that. Today anyway, it's gonna kind of interlink with what's been going on social media and, you know, just the things that we can pick up you know, from social media. Now, as you know, we are in a series at the moment all about confidence. So aside from being a content creator and a speaker, I'm also a confidence coach. I work with loads of different types of clients, some people who are older than me, some people who are younger than me, you know, different types of people to work on their confidence as individuals. I make sure I do bespoke sessions for each individual person to give them what they need, because I really do believe that every single one of us, you know, is so powerful in our own right. We have so much in the inside of us, but sometimes it just takes somebody else to come along, not necessarily to tell you who you are, but to just help you to see who you already are. I tell people, and I tell every one of my clients, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not any of those things. I am just somebody who genuinely believes that every single one of us is so powerful and so mighty in so many different ways, but a lot of us shrink over time because of life circumstances, being abused, people saying certain things about us or whatever it is. A lot of us tend to shrink. My aim is to just to draw that out of people. So yeah, I do confidence coaching as well, and we're on this series at the moment on, you know, how to be more confident, confidence is, all of that good stuff. And today I really wanted to talk to you guys about, especially off of the back of everything that's been going on, you know, online and on social media, but I really wanted to talk to you about defining yourself before anyone defines who you are. Now, the reason why this is so important, and the reason why this even came up, I had a whole different topic, by the way, that I had actually put down, is on my board at the moment, something completely different to talk about, but guess what, I'll leave that for next week. But after just looking at social media and looking at the reaction and the wave of comments and reactions and whatever it is that you want to call, again, it was very, very you know, what's it called, like I've forgotten the term, but basically I can't even complain that I've had a wave of reactions because I put something out there that, you know, I did know was going to get reaction. So this is not me saying, oh no, why are people, you know, reacting to me or whatever. No, it's none of that. But just the amount of response and reactions, and also some comments which haven't necessarily been, like I said, they have been really nice people who've been like, do you know what, it's just a joke, like get over it, it's not that deep, blah blah blah, laughed about it, etc. But then there's also been a few people who have, you know, been saying certain things. Again, I'm not going to play into it, so I'm not going to necessarily mention what people have said, but you know, certain people who basically try to tell you who you are. And one thing that you need to understand, especially if you're really working to build up your confidence and you're trying to be a more confident person, you need to know who you are and you need to define yourself before you let anybody else tell you who you are. I can see how easy it can be for people to try and project their own anger or their own upset or their own fury or their own issues within themselves and try to project it onto you to tell you who you are. There were certain comments that I was reading saying, how the hell did you gather that about me as an individual, as myself, as a human being, as a person with morals and principles? How on earth did you gather all of that and now say this is who you are? You tried to take me and repackage me into something that you, because of one thing that's happened, you believe that I am, and you've now tried to present that to the rest of the world. Now the only difference is with maybe myself and somebody else is the fact that I have learned, I've taken the time to define who I am before anyone else can define me. I have taken the time to know who I am, to know whose I am, to know what I stand for, to know my morals, to know my beliefs, to know you know, the type of woman that I am, to know the type of woman that I'm presenting to the world, to know the type of woman that, you know, to know the type of woman that I want other women to also be, because I have taken the time, because I've taken the time to really focus on me. You guys know I say it quite a lot. Go to the university of you before you let anyone else define who you are, because we're living in a very, very interesting time right now where social media will literally try to turn you into something that you are not. Look at the amount of people. It is actually alarming when someone told me that another, and literally this is how you know it didn't even cross my mind, but someone was like to me, oh yeah, another person took their life, another person that was on Love Island. By the way, if you don't know what Love Island is, it's just this reality show, very, very popular reality TV show based here in the UK, but how another person took their life after they became a celebrity from Love Island. And you know, the fact that that person said another person, I was like, what do you mean? And I googled it, and I'd actually seen, I think there's been about 2 or 3 people who have taken their life after going on Love Island, being thrust into the limelight and becoming this massive celebrity. Now again, some people might argue and say, but they should have never gone on the show because they know that the show is a popular show, they know that they're going to become famous. Of course, my thing is not here to counter on whether or not someone should or shouldn't have done something. My thing here is to say, listen, there are people out there who will try to tell you who you are. If you do not ensure that you are working on you, I'm not talking about working on the outside of you. Yes, look after yourself. Yes, make sure that you know you look after yourself, you're grooming yourself where you're presentable, you look good and all of that good stuff. Nobody's saying don't do that. You guys know me. I love looking after myself and making sure that I am presentable. But the most important part of me is what is in here. I am so grateful that I spent years before anyone even knew who the hell I even was. And this is how you even know that God knows that his timing is the perfect timing, because I don't think I could have survived if I was someone like Justin Bieber, who from a young age was thrust into the limelight. But I am somebody who over the years has allowed herself to discover who she is. Now I know I'm still in my early 20s, and people watching this will probably say, you still have a long way to go, honey. You have no idea. When you hit 30, you're going to discover new things about yourself. When you hit 40, you're going to discover new things about yourself. When you hit 50, that's when you truly come to understand who you are, which is absolutely fine, and I don't dismiss it. But right here, right now, I am so grateful that I have gone to the university of me. I know who I am, and I want to encourage you. Confidence is not necessarily about knowing everything. Confidence is not about knowing how everything is going to pan out, because we're never going to know how everything is going to pan out in life. But confidence is coming to a level of understanding of yourself so that you define who you are before anyone else does, before anyone else can come into your life and start spewing things over you, saying things over you, throwing things over you. It's about you really taking the time, even if if it means going off of social media for a little while, even if it means taking a step back from your career or whatever it is that you were doing, even if it means going away, maybe traveling for a little while, for, you know, even if it's a couple of weeks or whatever it is that you have to do to discover you, to really come to understand what you stand for, who you are, your principles, your morals, what you believe in, what you love, what you care about, what you are passionate about. All of that stuff is so important. It's important to define you before anyone else does, because believe me, especially if you are somebody who wants to go onto social media, or you want to become a content creator, or you want to go online, or you want to do all these things where you maybe put yourself out there, or you want to become a TV presenter, whatever it is, understand that there will always be somebody, especially because you've put yourself out there, so you've opened yourself up to a world of opinions and conversations and whatever it is. There will always be somebody that will try to put you into this box or try to tell you who you are. So it is so important. It is vital. Confidence is ensuring that you know who you are, molding yourself into the person you want to be, not because of anybody else, not because of what the world is saying to you. And yes, we are not vacuums. We don't live on an isolated bubble where everything that we do is just based on us. Of course not. And you guys know I'm always talking about, you know, the fact that it's not just about you. But in order for you to be able to pour out to people and to be able to do that aspect of it's not just about you, i.e. to help people, to pour into people, to make an impact on people, you have to know who you are. You have to be grounded within yourself. Don't let this world or social media or other people define who you are. You focus and concentrate on working out who you are, so you can stand strong enough, so that when people do try and come for you, this is not even just for anyone on social media, but even when in life in general, when you have family members who like to make comments about you, or you have friends who want to say, oh, look at you doing this and this and this, so that you don't allow yourself to be defined or boxed in by the opinions and the thoughts of other people. Go to the university of you. Be confident in who you are. Come to understand. Really take the time. And I'm not just saying you took 2 minutes out of your day, you sat down and you're like, okay, cool, I'm a good person, great. No, really understand what makes you tick. How far will you or won't you go with certain things? What will you or won't you do? Like, I can't lie to you, I have already had certain conversations in my mind about things that I know that coming up in the future, again, like I said, I'm someone that has put myself out there, and I do, you know, by God's grace, I'm building a platform, and I'm praying that that platform continues to expand. So I've already had conversations about things that I know people will come to me about, or ask me about, or try to challenge me on, and I've already started to have to think about those things, so that I know what I stand for. And what I stand for today, yes, it might change tomorrow, or I might change my mind, or as Wendy Williams says, I am a woman, so I'm allowed to change my mind. Okay, I stand by that also. But right here, right now, I know where my mind is at. I know the woman that I am. I know what I stand for. I know what my brand is about. Oh my goodness, how people have even tried to tell me what my brand is about. I know what my brand is about. Now, I'm not saying that there are not people out there who can give you constructive criticism, or that can be like, do you know what, I don't think that's such a good idea, or do you know what, maybe you shouldn't do that, or you should do this. There's nothing wrong with allowing people in, because at the end of the day, we always need to be open to learning, be open to listening, be open to advice and all of that stuff. But when you know who you are, that is when you can become your most confident. You become confident when you allow yourself to define you, and you don't allow anybody else to define who you are and what you can and cannot do. Don't let other people project who they think you should be onto you. I will not allow the opinions or the thoughts of others to define who I am, and that is when you become your most confident. You become fearless of anything and everything when you decide that you are going to go to the university of you, and you are going to define yourself before anyone else tries to define who you are. Anyway, I really don't want to keep rambling on. I hope that all made sense to you. Just take the time to define you before anyone else tries to define you, especially for those that want to become a content creator, or that are already content creators, put themselves online or put themselves out there. Because when you put yourself out there, you literally open up the door for people to have their opinions. So that's why I don't even really get mad at people having their opinions and saying negative things, because it's like, listen, I gave you free reign. I opened up my door. Yes, it's not nice, it's not polite, sometimes it's not a nice feeling, but I opened up my door, and guess what? People are not always going to say nice things about you. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. That's just, you know, fact. However, I have also spent the time to really define who I am, because people ask me all the time, you know, how do you deal with certain things online? I've had people come to me who have been involved in certain things online, who've come to me and been like, how do I deal with this? Like, I've never experienced this before. How do I deal with this? And I'm like, listen, you have to define you before anyone else defines you. You have to know that you're good within yourself, and as long as you are good within yourself, nobody else around you can make you feel bad when you are feeling good within yourself. So take the time, define who you are. Don't let other people's opinions and thoughts and whatever it is that people are trying to superimpose onto you define who you are, or define your thought process, or change your mind about certain opportunities or things that you want to do. You better run with it. You better do you, stand for what you believe in, stand for who you are, present the person that you want to be, and know that the moment that you take off the mask and you take off all the baggage of everyone's expectations and the things that people are looking for. And it's so funny because I was actually doing this with one of my coaching clients as well, actually talking about, you know, the fact that we wear so many people's expectations of us on our shoulders, then we're getting dragged down slowly and then we're wondering why we're unhappy, or why we're angry, or why we're upset, or why we feel like, you know, we can't be ourselves. It's because we're wearing other people's expectations, and we're in a time right now where everyone is so damn sensitive about everything that we feel like we can't say or do anything. All I'm gonna say is, do you know what? Just know people will have an opinion, but as long as you have defined yourself, you have defined who you are, there's nothing that anyone can say about you that will drag you into a pit of darkness that a lot of people want to drag you into. There are so many people out there that will smile in your face, or people that claim that they are happy for you, or that claim that they are you know, someone that appreciates you, or appreciate your work or whatever. But the moment that something negative comes to your name, they will be the first person to kick you in the ground. But as long as you know who you are, you will look at those people and you'll be able to walk straight past and smile at them even, and say, do you know what? No problem. That's what you want to do. I'm gonna keep it moving. That's what you want to say. I'm gonna still be the person that I was called to be. That's who you need to have. That's the type of confidence that you need to have. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I know that it is a bit longer than I normally like making my Wake Up Wednesdays, but I really wanted to really go into that in depth. Like I said, I did have a completely different topic in mind, but with everything that's been going on, I was like, this is perfect. I'm gonna talk about this just because it was on my heart at the time, and I really do hope that, especially if you're just online, that you will just take heed of this. Just anyone in general anyway, define you before anyone else can define you, before people can start putting labels on you, telling you who you are, what you can and can't do, what you are and aren't made for, or because you've come from a certain area, this is what you can and can't do. I hear crazy stories about kids who aspire to places like Oxbridge, like Oxford or Cambridge, and then teachers who have come to tell them, oh, people like you don't go there. By the way, this was a young black woman that came to me and told me this, that a teacher specifically told her, and I quote, that people like you don't go there. Don't let other people who have their own limited mind and their limited perception to define who you are. If you're gonna say you're gonna go to Oxbridge, you're going to go to Oxbridge, and even if it doesn't happen, it wasn't because you weren't built for it, or because people like you don't go there. It just means that, you know what, on this occasion it wasn't for you. But guess what, if there's something else you aspire to, you better go out and get it, and not let anyone tell you what you can and can't do. Don't let people define you. Don't let people box you in. Don't let people limit you. Every time I think about what that teacher said, that teacher could have literally broken, you know, this young woman's dreams completely and limited her in so many different ways. And that's why it's so important that everyone, as young men, as young women especially, that we define ourselves, so that when someone says you can't, you say, do you know what, no problem, you said I can't, but guess what, I'm gonna go around the other side and I'm gonna make sure I open up that door. You said I can't build this thing, do you know what, I'm gonna start with nothing and I'm gonna build up an empire. Look at all the incredible people that have started with nothing and that have built up the biggest empires, things that will live on for centuries and generations to come. That's the type of mindset that you have. They are the type of people that have the hungry mindset. That's the type of mindset that I have. You tell me that I can't do something, best believe I'm going to ensure that, because I know who I am and I know that I've defined myself before you can tell me who I am and what I am or I'm not capable of. I am going to go and I'm going to surpass you, and I'm going to make sure that you see that I can achieve everything that I said I was going to achieve. Anyway, for real, I'm going to stop rambling now. I love and appreciate you guys always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with all your friends and all your family, and of course, stay beautiful.